All right, here we go. We got ourselves another special match coming at you. Spawning down in the bottom right, 14 match arena. It is Astrea in the blue. And his opponent spawning up at the top left for the Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett in the red. And once again, this is a qualifier for the Masters Coliseum. Scarlett, is she going to go for a 14 hatch here? She certainly is. Is she going to build an extra drone? Nope, she's going to go straight for the 14 hatch. Okay. This is interesting. This is not an Eric build with the extractor trick. This was a 14 Overlord into a 14 hatch. So it means she can build drones quicker afterwards, but it also, I think this is almost weirdly a bigger economic hit. I'm not sure. I'm sure she's done the math and knows it a lot better than I do. But this is a little bit strange. It's a faster hatch, but not a faster pool, so you don't get the faster queens. But the drones are quicker afterwards. And the 14th drone is quick too, but it's not as quick as obviously the extractor trick 15th drone. It's nominal differences regardless. But once again, this is a qualifier for the Masters Coliseum. Winner of this does not quite qualify, but they do get themselves a heck of a lot closer. Scarlett. Really wanting to avoid the hatch block. Astrea with the jankiest of hero walls. Oh my god, you look at this, and this is the most tempting, succulent, baneling bustable wall of all time. But I guarantee this is Astrea doing the old Matador thing, where he's like, he holds it up, and you baneling bust, and then behind it, he just pulls the sheet away, and there's like a perfect defense ready to go behind it. And you're like, why did I run at the sheet? It was flapping in the wind so nicely, I just had to run at it. And it's like, no, you shouldn't have run at it. That's on you. And he's like, no, the Matador, it's his fault. It's his fault. Will be, of course, a Twilight Council and a robotics facility behind this. As Scarlett, or rather, as Astrea did start up the quick warp gate. He does shade forward with the Adept, despite the fact that he's not building a second gateway unit. Very quick second and third gateway, as well as that quick resonate. Oh, what am I saying? There is two Adepts here. Still, no third gateway unit. How did I miss the second Adept? Oh, Astrea gonna shade forward. Wow, that is a bold play. And he's gonna lose one of the Adepts. Scarlett, I think that's better for her. Recall gets used. Yeah, I think that's better for Scarlett. Recall gets used, she kills off the Adept. And she only loses one drone. No lings go down. That's way better for Scarlett. Astrea chronos out the third gateway unit. Man, this build is like... Astrea really just likes to invent his own stuff. Funnily enough, this actually would have been a situation where if Scarlett had baneling busted, Astrea might have just died. Scarlett behind this. Second gas and a Roach Warren here. Ooh, Ling's trying to get in on top of this Adept. There is decent surface area here. She is going to be able to kill this off at the very least. But Astrea with a nice re-wall behind it with the pylon. How many lings did that cost her? 3 lings? Yeah, that's worth it. Oh, and she spots the Adepts being warped in. This is a 4-gate Glaives play. This would have been 9 Adepts, but Scarlett killed off 2 of them early. I do love this creep to right here. Of course, the creep is not going to spread very quickly, but it will give the queens an easier time getting through. Good spot on the warp in here. Scarlett traditionally has had difficulty dealing with Glaive Adept play in the past. Astrea. Ooh, he's going to shade forward. Yes, he will. There's only 1 Roach here. There is a good number of Lings, but really great positioning here from Astrea. Now, Scarlett with the Roaches does get in on top of these Adepts, able to pick off a couple of them. Will lose a couple of roaches, though. More Adepts getting in to the third base. Whereas the rest kind of go back into the War Prism there. Actually, those were just warped into the War Prism. Scarlett might be able to jump in on top of these Adepts, but, ooh, the War Prism taking a lot of damage. Will be just fine. Astrea wisely pulling away after dropping out 2 of the Adepts. Scarlett is going to be able to get in on top of these. She needs to stay on top of that War Prism. It's so important. Ooh, Astrea, this is a bit of a greedy play. But Scarlett wasn't right in position, so he's able to get away with it. Behind this, third Nexus is well on the way for Astrea. Scarlett looks like she's handled this pretty well. Oh, Adepts getting into the main base again. These are so difficult to deal with. Just 2 with the Resonating Blades. A little bit of a misfire right there from Astrea. Did hit the hatchery, but still was able to get an additional 4 drones. And that's actually the most he's gotten so far. Scarlett's defense up until this point has been magnificent. Another drone does fall at the natural. I don't know if I agree with that shade forward, though. Oh. Scarlett. Oh, she doesn't have vision. I was like, man, why is she not responding to this? Well, she didn't see it. She didn't see it. It feels like you should have vision of that, but you don't unless you have an Overlord there or the Queen's further to the left. Man, and now quite a few drones going down in the last little bit. Astrea building an Immortal, adding on 2 Immortals, actually, and a third now on the way even. No blink yet, but there's the Robotics Bay. War Prism will get kind of trapped in the corner a little bit. Scarlett, oh, no. She's pumping out a lot of Lings. She's already built a lot of Ravagers. If she can get the wraparound on these Adepts, hang on, there's no War Prism at home. Oh, it is being recalled. Corrosive Vials do land on one of those Adepts, but all the Lings go down so quickly. Astrea is going to be able to hold this pretty easily, I think, with the War Prism being recalled. And Scarlett, she just needs to get the hell out of Dodge. Ooh, is that shade forward a good idea? No, it is not. Astrea realizing at the last moment, but it was a little bit too late. Scarlett with a nice punish. And that turns that otherwise, I would say, pretty bad attack into more of a wash. But actually it forced the recall on the War Prism. And because the Adepts shaded forward there at the end, she got 3 or 4 more of them. Yeah, that's not so bad for Scarlett. Still, the Disruptor tech is going to be a problem. She did drone up behind this. And her creep spread, it's looking not too bad. Well, it's looking okay in a couple of spots. She did get supply blocked pretty brutally, though. And Lair, still not even done. It's just now finishing up. Oh, Astrea. Forge and a Templar Archives at the same time. Not often you see that. Oh, more drones going down at the third base. 4 drones for 2 Adepts, I think. Yeah, that's pretty nominal. Scarlett way oversupplied on Overlords. But, I mean, she hasn't gone over 200, so at least there's that. Ooh. Nice job from Astrea, just kind of kiting through. Will be able to pick off a couple of Lings and a drone. Did lose 1 Adept, though. So it's, once again, a little bit of a trade. 2 more Adepts being sent on the right side. Good job from Astrea to really try and get value out of these units. Past the point. Oh, no, Scarlett, she loses track. She started splitting units off, but will end up losing quite a few drones here. Really great positioning from Astrea. By putting the Adepts in those mineral lines, was able to get probably 3 more drones than he should have been able to. How many Disruptors do we have? Already 3. Astrea getting charge and +1 at the same time as well. Astrea, tried to get a cheeky shade forward, but did end up losing 1 Adept right there before he was able to pick off. And I also think wasn't able to actually get any worker kills. Scarlett behind this has been droning up very cleanly. So she's up at 85 drones right now, building a ton of Ravagers, actually. 8 more Ravagers. Oh, she's going to lose some more drones here, though. And here comes the big push. Nice blink forward from Astrea. Does snipe down the Overseer. Scarlett is maxed out, and she's got a Roach speed, as well as about to have Baneling speed and +1 melee. Astrea, I guess he looked at this army and said, I don't have enough. And I got to agree, his army is not, he's not at a big supply right now. Okay, it's just going to be Archons, no Storm. Scarlett, it might be her time to try and push forward and get something done. If she can find a cancel on the 4th base, that would be amazing for her. Ooh, but she's going to try and go for the wraparound. There are disruptors in the backfield. One disruptor gets 2 Ravagers right off the get. Nice split from Scarlett. Only losing 2 roaches there. That's a big shot, though. And a 4th disruptor gets a huge connection. Scarlett on the top side making no progress whatsoever. And the bottom side, her army just got obliterated. And she taps out. Oh, that was a disastrous attack. Great defense from Astrea, and he crushes that one. Goes up 1-0. All right, here we go for game number 2. Spawning up at the top right for Team Maturino, it is Astrea. With some constant harass that really seemed to get under Scarlett's skin. And his opponent spawning down on the bottom left. It is Scarlett, the Shopify Rebellion in the red. And Astrea, okay. He's not going to go for the hatch block. Scarlett, her build setup did work out in theory in terms of gameplay preparation, because now Astrea looks at what Scarlett did in game 1 and is like, okay, I can't hatch block you. Doesn't even try. And so Scarlett's going to be able to get away with a hatch first. However, Astrea also pumping a little bit of greed. Going to go gas first. Gas before gate. That's kind of neat. We used to see Nice do this all the time. So I think what happened there in game number 1 is Scarlett attacked in, didn't realize her opponent had disruptors until she was committed to the fight. And obviously with battery overcharge, with the blink, with the disruptor shots being as huge as they were, I mean, it was 3 things that all mixed together into a cocktail of Zerg GG. And of course, that game was very well played from Astrea with the Adepts. He was a huge nuisance with them for a very constant amount of time. And Scarlett definitely, I think, was thrown off her game just a little bit by how effective the Adepts were. But good job by Astrea to keep the constant pressure up. Now, Astrea, this is his first scout across the map. So if it was a 12 pool, if it was a proxy hatch, if it was something weird, he'd just now be finding it out. But obviously, it's not. And, you know, when your opponent's down 1-0 in a best-of-3 series, in an important match like this, the chance that they're going to cheese is quite a bit lower. So I like that Astrea kind of cuts a corner here a little bit with the gas first, with the late scout. Now, we are going to be seeing another quick warp gate here. And it's going to be another quick Twilight Council. Astrea saying, yeah, I think you're going to have trouble defending my Resonating Glaives play. And honestly, she did. She did have some trouble defending it. It was a huge pain to deal with. And Resonating Glaved Adepts, when they get in, they are such a nuisance. They are such a huge pain. Astrea this time going Stalker Adept instead of double Adept. 2 more gateways coming on down quickly. Once again, Astrea going for, yeah, pretty much the same build. Well, no, not actually quite the same build. He did go double Adept in the previous game and shaded forward and then recalled. So actually a little bit different, but not drastically. Will end up in a similar place. Although in this game, I think Astrea is going to be able to hit with the 9 Adepts that he wanted to. Different from what he did prior. Now, Scarlett, this time she is setting up differently. She is going to go for a fast second gas. And I believe she has taken a page out of Dark's book. I think this is going to be the 3 Ravager Ling defense. And honestly, against Glaive Adepts, I think it is... there's nothing better than the 3 Ravager Ling defense. You're able to surround the Adepts with your Lings. The War Prism has to be very careful because, of course, 3 Corrosive Biles will kill a War Prism. The Adepts have to be careful about getting surrounded because, you know, a bunch of Corrosive Biles on the center of a pack of Adepts is a bunch of dead Adepts. And then, of course, the Ravagers can actually kite the Adepts. Now, in this case, Scarlett's actually building 4 Roaches. Oh, is that on purpose? I'm not sure. She has recognized that there's potential for a Dark Shrine. Behind this, she's building Spores. That's something I didn't bring up right away, but clearly Astrea has done something like this to her in the past, and so she's relatively prepared for it. And honestly, the Spores are just going to help a ton against the War Prism, too. Oh, Adept's actually shading forward into the 3rd base. We'll grab 2 drones. Meanwhile, 3 DT is going to warp in here. Scarlett. Ooh, can she keep the Spore Crawler hidden? Not quite. Well, I mean, she did keep it hidden. But Astrea was able to get the War Prism in position and was able to save all 3 DTs. Oh, he's really playing with fire, though. Scarlett trying to sneak as close as she can to get vision of those DTs. Behind us, 3rd Nexus is on the way. Astrea didn't build many Adepts, so his transition is going to be quite a bit faster. And behind this, we are going to see Archons morphing on in. Honestly, I think Scarlett might have had an opportunity to maybe cancel the 3rd base, but I don't blame her for not going straight across the map with it. We do see a layer coming online pretty quickly, and great creep spread in the main. Oh, she doesn't want to lose this Overlord, but she will keep it alive. Adepts at the 3rd base are pretty well positioned. Scarlett, oh, she's going to go for it, though. With a shield battery finishing, I don't think this is the play, and it certainly is not. She's going to lose a lot of lings there for very little gain. 17 lings for 2 Adepts. Honestly, I thought it was going to be worse. Oh, meanwhile, though, she almost kills the Archon at home. Astrea playing with fire a little bit. But we'll be able to get out. Lings, meanwhile, did draw a Stalker out and got the kill there. Okay, so that's actually quite nice for Scarlett. And it kind of evens up that trade on the other side of the map. Astrea, though, he's doing such a good job of just being extra annoying with these units. Meanwhile, quick Infestation Pit, +1 missile. This might be Swarm Hosts. This could very well be Swarm Hosts from Scarlett right here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a fast Hive, too. Could be either or. We'll see. We will definitely see. Roach speed is far along. Astrea. Oh, another 2 Adepts get in. This time there's no defense here. The Roaches are not in position. The Lings are on the wrong side of the map. Drones are going to get pulled, but this is so much value for Astrea. He grabs 10 drones with just 2 Adepts. That is monstrous damage. Oh, that is so painful for Scarlett. Very nicely done for Astrea. And there it is. There's the Swarm Hosts. There are the Swarm Hosts coming on in. If Astrea doesn't find out about this, and they just come in and, you know, kill off a base, they could just win her the game pretty much straight up. Oh, Adepts will get jumped on here. Astrea not going to be able to sneak out with the Adepts this time. It's a good find for Scarlett. Creep spread is being kind of, well, not kind of, really hampered by these Archons. Great job from Astrea. At this point, Scarlett, I think you want to just find that Observer. Or even, actually, you know what? You know where the Observer is. You just send the Swarm Host wherever the Archon drop isn't. Oh, please don't sow it with this. Oh, Astrea had the split-second vision. Oh, but he's going to stop moving the Warp Prism. Oh, my God. Okay, he sees it now. Oh, this one idiot Swarm Host gives up the entire battle plan. But is it going to matter? Scarlett did get across the map with just about everything. That's a huge Locust Wave. There is no Archons, no Storm. It's 1 Disruptor. Gets a single Roach. I think Scarlett might just win the game right this second. Immortal instantly goes down. There is another Disruptor behind this. Not all the Locusts were actually fired out, so this wasn't as effective for Astrea as I thought it was going to be. Battery Overcharge does get popped, and it didn't get Corrosive Bile down. Hang on, this Locust Wave actually wasn't anywhere near as effective as I thought it was going to be. Huge Disruptor shot, finding a bunch of units. Now, Astrea is definitely still in an uncomfortable position, but I thought that was going to go way better for Scarlett. Way better for Scarlett. There is actually 8 drones that went down on the other side of the map. I don't even know what caused that, but that's clearly what distracted Scarlett there. Still, she will get the 4th base. No, click it, click the 4th base. Oh my God, is this enough DPS now? Oh, she barely gets it. Oh boy. She almost didn't get it right there. And once again, you might be looking at the supplies and saying, this game's over, obviously. Swarm hosts are a huge supply sink. And when their locust waves are on cooldown, they are garbage units. They literally don't do anything. Oh, great job from Astrea right there. He baits out the locust wave to the ground and just picks up the disruptor. Funnily enough, this one locust actually drains a little bit of shield battery energy. Ooh, Nidus Worm on the right side will get found here. I actually think I prefer Astrea's position now. He needs to survive another couple of locust waves. Oh, okay, well. This is going to be weird. Blink is done. Scarlett will deny the 4th base again. Oh, please click the Nexus. Click the Nexus. Okay, she will get it. Oh, and she finds a couple more probes too. Good job. Yeah, no. With that Nexus being denied, that puts Scarlett back in a comfy position, I think. Especially with Hive and a Lurker Den getting very close. Blink DTs are on the way. Astrea doing a good job of finding these Nidai. Scarlett got to be careful. Disruptors are on the field. One Ravager does get taken out, but Scarlett should be able to disengage. Overlord speed is not yet done, but it will be completing shortly. Astrea, this army is big. It is beefy. It is powerful. And let's see how this one goes from here. Spines being added on by Scarlett. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of getting like 1 spine per base. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, yeah, this is maybe a little bit overkill. But I prefer at least like 4 to 5 spines. I think anything less than that is kind of irrelevant. Scarlett trying to get a Nidus Worm in here, but Astrea able to take that down. Does also kind of draw the Lings in. Only losing 1 Stalker for a good number of Lings, and those are 0-0 Lings. They actually don't kill Stalkers particularly quickly. Astrea with a couple of hit squads of Stalkers, a very mobile army against the relatively immobile Swarm hosts, but Lurkers. Lurkers are going to be a big shutdown on a lot of this army. Obviously, the Disruptors and Immortals are going to be good, but these Stalkers do not deal with Lurkers very well. And finally, an Nidus Worm does sneak its way out. Astrea will take down the 5th base of Scarlett and has secured his own 4th base. Meanwhile, Stargate starts up for the Fleet Beacon transition and the +1 air. +3 weapons also on the way. Scarlett getting a ton of spines at this 4th base. Lurkers do burrow on up. Ooh, abduct. Oh, she wasn't ready with the Vipers. Astrea punishing one of the Vipers as well, but a huge disruptor shot got a lot of kills right there. Scarlett, though, is able to re-engage. Meanwhile, on the top side, Swarm Host wave was fired on out. Astrea's vision against these Nidus Worms has been nothing short of fantastic. Great job right there from Scarlett to make sure the Locust Wave doesn't get wasted. But can she even get anything of value? She'll get a few probes. Better than nothing, that's for sure. And a Stalker. Better than if that Locust Wave had been baited out. Astrea going to be targeting down spines here. I wonder if Scarlett's going to want to rebuild those. Or just focus on the Lurkers. Astrea getting 4 Stargate carrier transition, or maybe Tempests set up here. Not clear if it's going to be carriers or Tempests. Personally, I do prefer carriers by a lot. But the last time Astrea was in a similar situation to this, he did play Tempests. And it actually ended up, I think, losing in the game. Although initially he was doing such a great job with it. Speaking of great job, excellent abducts coming in from Scarlett. Ooh, big link forward from Astrea on the left side. Able to take down a Lurker. And there's not enough here for Scarlett to defend, but Astrea is very far down in supply right now. He's saving a lot of money for the carrier transition. There it is. 4 carriers starting up all at once. And Astrea does have that +1 weapons done. He can start up +2 right away. Scarlett, though, oh, she is killing a lot of this ground army. If she just goes across the map right now, Astrea is going to be in a lot of trouble. He does kill off the 5th base again, and that was a kill, not a cancel. But Scarlett has a huge timing right now to maybe just kill Astrea before the carriers come out. Like, there is not a lot that keeps her from just winning the game at this moment. But she does need to kind of recognize that opportunity. Nidus Worm will come on, or, will allow the Locust Wave to come on in. Oh, Astrea baits out half these Locusts right there. Disruptor Shot gets another few of them. Those Stalkers on the left side were just so good right there for Astrea. Oh, that is so painful for Scarlett, basically having more than half of that Locust Wave getting wasted. And we've already got 4 carriers now out. 2 more on the way. Astrea does have that +2 air weapons. There is +1 Carapace on the way and a Spire. So did Scarlett get the Scout? No, she did not. Oh, man, this is... Well, she is starting to siege this bottom side base. Okay, she is going to see the carriers for good and true. That will be a lot of dead Zealots on the top side. And even a lot of dead Stalkers, actually. Scarlett target firing down the Stalkers, able to get a good number of them. And all the Zealots. Okay, that was a great Locust Wave. That Locust Wave killed so much. Ooh, Disruptor does get a couple of Lurkers, but counter Abduct gets a Disruptor kill right there. Astrea's still got to be careful. Like, if he loses too much ground army and Scarlett just pops out, you know, I don't know, 15, 20 Corruptors, and he's got no support on the ground. Speaking of which, actually, this next Locust Wave is ready to go. If Scarlett just targets down the 4th base, I think she kills it. Maybe. It's tough to say. There's a lot. Ooh, nice job with the Disruptor here. Great Storm on the left side. Immortal does fall, Disruptor falls, but Astrea keeps the Nexus alive. Does lose actually 11 probes. Man, carriers, yeah, I should never underestimate carriers. What am I thinking? Scarlett is getting into a greater Spire as well as a 2nd Spire. She is building those Corruptors, so she's going to be able to go double air upgrades, but Astrea is finishing up +2 air weapons, and he's going to be on already now 9, 10 carriers. Now, he is a little bit broke. He's down at 58 probes. Hasn't been able to take a 5th base. His 3rd base is mining out. His 4th base, oh, it might just get clicked down right now. Just target the base. Well, she's going to go for probes. That ain't bad either. Oh, and actually, she's just going to kill all the Zealots, too. She's going to kill, like, every probe except for 3. Okay, now Astrea, I think he just has to go. Scarlett, she's in a weird position where she needs to free up more supply. She's only on 16 Corruptors. Couple more on the way. But that is a lot of carriers right here. There's only 2 High Templar, but they do have Storm available. Oh, nice feedback right there on the Viper. Astrea trying to pick it off. And this final Locust Wave... Oh, just click the Nexus, please. There we go. Carriers recalled. Won't save the Nexus. That was an optimistic recall from Astrea. I actually think that was a huge mistake on the recall right there. Scarlett should always have been able to kill that Nexus with no defenses there. Man, Astrea was doing such a good job against the Swarm Host for so long. And then a little crack in his defense starts to show, and Scarlett peels him apart. I mean, the army is still terrifying, but with every moment that passes, Scarlett gets closer to 1-1 on her air. And if Astrea doesn't attack, you know, like, very soon... Oh, okay, Observer does get saved. Good attention to detail there from Astrea. But Scarlett's going to be able to start up 2-2 even. And at this point, Astrea is kind of just chasing... It feels like he's almost chasing his tail around the map right now. Like, this just feels so brutal for him. Scarlett's doing such a good job now in the last little bit of this game. Really pulling her opponent apart. There is that 1-1 finishing up for the air. We've already got even +1 melee coming online. +3 Carapace. She can start up her 2/2 right away, as well as +2 melee. Ultra Cavern, I like that addition. She's building a huge bank. She's going to dive on the carriers. They are separated away from the Archons and the High Templar. Astrea simply cannot replace them. 3 of them going down. Scarlett is going to be more than happy to get those kind of trades. Astrea, at this point, it's a slow bleed out, but it's not going to be so slow for too much longer. Scarlett's done it in this game number 2, almost 100% at this point. And she's not just playing the game well, she's playing it out very smartly and very tactically, not overcommitting. If Astrea wants to stay in a lost game, that's totally his choice, but Scarlett doesn't need to force the game. She can just let it come to her. She's got a huge bank. She's set up for a big remax. Astrea, it feels like he just wants to get up to one big one-punch army and just go from there. Scarlett, oh, she's going to let that base fall. That's kind of fine. She doesn't need to. She could have saved it. And actually, she's only on 5 bases herself, but her bank is so big at this point. Honestly, at this point, I kind of like letting the Swarm Host die. She does need to remax, like, pretty quickly. Hello? She's not spending... Okay, it's going to be 8 Broodlords. You know what? Yeah, with the number of carriers she killed, I kind of like that. Broodlords and Corruptors just remax there. She does need to be a little bit careful. There are 4 High Templar with maxed out energy. Well, not anymore. Oh, Astrea actually getting a connection. Now, the fact that she lets this base on the bottom side die, or has to give it up, I should say, and didn't save this base on the top side, actually does make it a little bit less comfy for her. I still think that she is in a completely commanding position, but this has kind of complicated her position a little bit, especially now that she doesn't have the Swarm Host alive anymore, besides literally 5 of them, 2 of which just got 8 probes. Damn. Yeah, I think Scarlett's still just fine, especially now with 2/2 finishing up for her heir. And she even finished up +3 Carapace for the ground. +2 melee is about to complete as well. Burrow even. Does she have, she does have Pathogen Glands on the way, if not started yet. The thing is, she doesn't need to let this game go super late. But at the same time, yeah, Astrea, yeah, there's no reason for her to not get more upgrades and just to make absolutely sure she wins this game. Oh, that's a couple High Templar right there. Recall will get used on the carriers. This is a recall I can get behind, because Astrea absolutely needs that base. Like, if he loses that base, it is game over. And like maybe a 5% chance of winning. It feels like it's even lower than that, but maybe a 5% chance of winning drops to like sub 1%. Astrea. Ooh, he's got to be careful with the carriers. Nice abduct right there from Scarlett. Gets a big pick off. Each carrier is pretty irreplaceable at this point. Oh, and she grabs 2 more. They're both going to go down. Maybe a punishing storm. And not even that big of a punish. In fact, it's Astrea who loses the High Templar. Yeah, Scarlett's got this game in the bag at this point. There is absolutely nothing Astrea can do besides hope Scarlett kind of falls out of her chair, forgets how to play StarCraft, maybe is replaced by someone like me. And even then, I'm pretty confident I could win this game from this position if I knew that this was the game state. Oh, Corruptors do abandon the Broodlords for a moment. That's a little bit of an oopsie. Loses a couple of those. But, I mean, this base is fully mined out. Doesn't even matter if Astrea loses it at this point. Scarlett, I think just a couple more Broodlords, and she can just move forward and end the game. Maybe she was thinking this base was taken. Astrea did try and get something done with the Zealot run by, wasn't able to do so. Scarlett taking more bases on the top side. Yeah, she doesn't really need to hesitate. She doesn't really need to wait. Like I said, maybe just more get up to like 12 broods and just go. But she's actually building more drones. Yeah, I think she's over-respecting Astrea a little bit here. But at the same time, that's a big compliment to Astrea. Oh, hey, there's the very rare water balloon kill from a High Templar, killing a changeling. Love to see that. One of my favorite interactions. Watching water balloons from High Templar actually kill stuff. Even if it is changelings that only have 5 HP, I believe. Scarlett has been great about keeping her creep or replenishing it wherever possible. She's about to be on 3-3 air as well. Scarlett absolutely should never let Astrea take this 5th base. No way, no how. If she wants to wait for 3-3 air, I'm totally okay with that. She is actually adding infestors here. I also kind of would like to see her trade out the Roach Hydra. Ooh. Oh, triple, quadruple abduct right there on the carriers. She will get 3 of them. And now there's only 1 carrier on the field. Now you just go. Okay, never mind. Astrea's just going to GG. Yeah, that was the backbreaker right there. Scarlett playing uber patient and will get game number 2. All right, here we go. Game number 3. Spawning up in the top left. For Team Matrino, it is Astrea in the blue. And his opponent spawning down in the bottom right for the Shopify Rebellion. She is Scarlett in the red. And yeah, I don't want to come off overly critical of Scarlett. Obviously, I have full information. She does not. That is simply how it works. I get the advantage of getting to know what is happening. She will go for the 14... The 14 hatchery once again off of the 14 Overlord. This is a really weird opener. I'm very curious about the concept. But, yeah, Scarlett definitely looked very comfortable in the late game. Once she found an opening with the Swarm Host, she was just relentless with them and really stayed on top of her opponent. It's so difficult to deal with those Swarm Hosts once they kind of find a crack in the defense. It's extremely uncomfortable for Protoss players to try and defend that kind of thing once it gets rolling. But at the same time, you know, if it had gone to the late game on even footing, I do wonder if Astrea would have been able to make a lot more plays happen. I think for sure he would have, because in the kind of early stages of the mid game when he was moving around with the Blink Stalkers before the Swarm Hosts really started to take over, he was making some great plays. It was once he kind of let them get a little bit of momentum, that's when everything fell apart for Astrea, and that's when Scarlett was able to take control of the game in a huge way. Scarlett's pool does finish up at 157, so that is still a relatively early pool. Just a couple seconds, though. It's nothing. It's not like she cut anything to get it faster. It's just a quick pool. Actually, did she delay the gas? No, I don't think so. Ooh, Stargate opener for the first time in the series. Astrea, of course, did open up Resonating Glaives in Game 1 and got a lot of work done. In Game 2, it was Resonating Glaives with DTs, which got nothing done. Oh, Astrea. Scarlett only built 2 Lings. Where are they? Oh, it was a fake. Her 3rd hatchery is a little bit late, though. A little bit delayed by that. So good job from Astrea to catch Scarlett only building 2 Lings. She did not end up being able to take the high-yield gas base. It is a really good base if you can get that up and running. It just takes less drones to saturate gases, so it's just good going into the mid-game. Scarlett. Okay, her Overlord was a tiny bit late, but not that late. Wasn't terrible. Wasn't enough to really interfere with the build. Astrea. Oh, Miss Rally on the probes? Hello? Or is... What is happening here? I don't... Oh, no, Astrea, no. No. Why are there 3 pro... Hello? Oh, boy. That was an oopsie. That was a big oopsie. Ooh, double Adept. This is going to shade forward with the Oracle, I think. Yeah, there it is. Ooh, Scarlett gets a decent little surround initially, but the Adepts kind of do slip out, and the Oracle will get into the main mineral line. Able to grab how many drones? Ooh, gets 7 drones in total, and does get out with the Oracle. That's pretty great. 7 drones for 2 Adepts, and yes, to be fair, a lot of damage on the Oracle, but that's I like that. I like that a lot. The drones going down, more drones, of course, that are killed off, compounds the effect. So getting 4 drones for 2 Adepts is not as good as getting 7 drones for, like, 3 Adepts. Or, well, even 6 drones for 3 Adepts. At least in an earlier stage of the game where, you know, you really do need those drones in order to be able to keep building more drones. Oracles. Oh, will find another 2 drones in the main base. Great control right there from Astrea. Scarlett will be able to pick off... I think she killed a pylon here. Yeah, she did. Yeah, it's kind of nice. But not going to be able to find really anything beyond that. We do see a quick blink from Astrea. No forge. So this is a much more traditional game than the last 2 have been. Oracle does turn on its pulsar beam. Tries to keep the 1 Adept alive, but isn't able to do so. However, some fancy stutter step with that Oracle. Able to pick off a couple extra lings on the way out, and that ends up being a pretty expensive trade for Scarlett. Oh, the Queen's not in the best positioning here. Another 3 drones do get picked off by Astrea. Great job with the Oracle control. Scarlett building 2 more hatcheries at once, so she's going to be going heavy on the lings. Very heavy on the lings. Ooh, Stalker does get warped in. There isn't a Sim City here, and the Oracle's not in position. There is another Oracle on the other side of the map. Scarlett's going to be able to find... Well, she'll find all 3 Stalkers, but it does come at the cost of quite a few of those lings. Hang on, Astrea made 4 Oracles. It's the 4-Oracle play. Scarlett with some decent creep spread through the middle. Not bad at all. Astrea building more gateways here. Is this just going to be a big blink all in? There is a 5th gas coming down. No 6th gas. +1 melee is about to complete. Scarlett, she's droning up right now. And Astrea is not building any more probes. He's got a probe being sent forward with... Oh, 2 probes being sent forward with the army. What are these probes doing? 1 probe makes sense for a pylon, but Scarlett actually... She's going to have enough creep here to block this. Blink is done. There's the revelation to reveal the creep. Ooh, Astrea's going to be able to blink back up to the high ground, but Scarlett, can she find one of the Oracles? Not quite. Astrea not blinking up to the high ground right here, focusing on the Oracle micro itself. Now we'll be able to focus on these Stalkers, but he's losing a couple of them right there. Scarlett will find his pylon, and she's building nothing but lings. This is exactly what you want. She is floating a lot of gas, and that's because she was planning to go into Hydra. She's on 4 gases, technically really 5 gases since it's a high-yield gas. Astrea building charge, but he is going for it. He is absolutely committing. He's building a Nexus behind this, but no additional probes, like I said. No Forge, nothing like that. Ooh, Scarlett will keep the 1 Queen alive. It does eventually go down, though. No Transfuse, really. Ooh, oh, the Stasis Ward is not as big as I thought it was going to be. And actually, Scarlett able to pick off a couple of these Stalkers with their Blink on cooldown. Ooh, Astrea blinking forward. That might not have been a play. That's a lot of Queens and Hydras ready to fire. They don't have range or speed. Oh, another blink forward, but Scarlett can definitely turn around and fight this. Astrea really going deep here on creep. He's trying to target down the Stalkers and ignore the Queens. Good job with that. This is a very Razor's Edge situation. This is both players' tournament life on the line. It is going to come down to this battle, most likely. Good blink micro there from Astrea, but Scarlett, of course, does have the high ground. Another Stasis Ward coming on in. These are so handy in this situation. Oh, it's a huge Stasis Ward. But it also kind of acts as a force field against Astrea. Scarlett building 12 more Hydras. at this point, but those Lings being out of the fight is a big problem for her. Revelation providing vision of these Hydras and Queens. Scarlett desperately trying to get units out here in numbers. There are 28 Stalkers on the field. Astrea, doesn't have any upgrades, but the Zealots are still going to do so well against those Lings. The Charge Lot's trying to get in on top of the Hydras now, but Scarlett with a good concave at the top of the ramp. Can she hold? Another Stasis Ward coming on in. The previous one was, of course, very nice. More Charge Lots being warped in, but the Hydra count is pretty big at this point, and Scarlett is starting to defend. Queens do respread some creep. Most of them have gone down now, but I think Scarlett might just have hit the critical mass to hold. We do have Storm coming in from Astrea, though. He finished up a Templar Archives, just now starting to forge. Hydra range has finished. Hydra speed is now completing. Those Hydra's going to be a lot more maneuverable. I do joke about Hydras being crap units, meme units, but this is a situation where they can really excel. Of course, until Storm hits the field and then they fold like paper. But this is a situation for the next couple of seconds where they're going to be pretty good. Bane speed is started on up for Scarlett. She did survive. But of course, Astrea, he is now on equivalently, even though it's 7 gases. Well, actually, no, it's technically... Oh, no, it would have been the equivalent of 7 gases. Yeah, it's technically 6 gases, but would have been the equivalent of 7. Soon to be 8, though, once this one completes. And Astrea, this base allows you to hold so much in the middle of the map. So well. Oh, Astrea getting shields and attack off the Double Forge. That is very interesting. This game is going to settle down a little bit, I think. Although Scarlett, never mind. No, she's building nothing but units. She's not... Oh, the stasis! Ooh, well, okay. Banelings don't have speed just yet. Astrea, oh, he does see this attack on the right side. It is so difficult to attack on this map. You really don't want to do so. Not through the middle, and there's no really other options. Astrea, meanwhile, building a lot of static defenses on the left side. Scarlett, she can't go. She cannot attack up this ramp, not with so many High Templar. There's 13 High Templar on the field. Of course, one of them does morph into an Archon, the one that was just made. Oh, Astrea's going to see this army coming on the left side. Oh, God, I'm so scared for Scarlett. The storms are going to be big. The Banelings, though! The Banelings on the High Templar, just barely getting saved right there. That was a almost tragic moment for Astrea. He did have to morph a couple of Archons. How many High Templar are there still left on the field? 5. 4 now. Scarlett, though, that was a lot of stuff she just lost. That off... The multi-prong from Scarlett almost just killed Astrea right there. If the Banelings had connected on all those High Templar and he didn't get a single storm off, she probably would have just won right then and there. But she didn't. Astrea survives. She does start up a hive. She does have a 5th base behind this and is building a 6th base, but Astrea is definitely going to be in a huge lead now. Now, he does need to continue his tech, or he needs to scout and see that there's a hive on the way. But he might just still be worried about dying at this moment. Does start up the +1 air weapons. With 5 bases, he certainly has the money to go into carriers at this point. Scarlett getting ready for maybe a Broodlord transition here. And I mean, if Astrea doesn't tech up into carriers, or at the very least Tempests, but regardless, more Stargates and that Fleet Beacon, Scarlett's going to have a really good time. There we go. There's the additional Stargate, the Fleet Beacon. Okay. So he is going to be at least somewhat prepared for this. Another big Stasis Ward on the right side, going to help out a lot. Scarlett, can she still hit with a Broodlord timing? She might be able to. Oh, Astrea, those were not ready. Scarlett is still pushing with the Hydraling Bane. And it will find a little bit of something on the right side. On the left side, doesn't find much of anything. A lot of Lings going down. But if she can find the base kill, she will not. Ooh, meanwhile, Zealots on the left side, the warp in, killing off the 6th base of Astrea. Scarlett has not started up her Greater Spire. That's a huge Zealot warp in coming into the main base. The War Prism will get saved by the Zealots themselves. Baneling's trying to get in on top of the Zergling, or on top of the Zealots. But Zealots able to trade, I would say, pretty decently. Most importantly, though, they killed off the 6th base. And now the Greater Spire does get started up. Astrea, he's going to spot this. Scarlett, oh, she does eat a big stasis ward there. High Templar moving forward. Scarlett able to get out of there before the storms land, but this feels like a really great position for Astrea. I actually do think carriers would have been fine here instead of the Tempest, but his ground army is so strong that... I mean, it's mostly High Templar. It is kind of flimsy. But I guess the Broodlords are the only thing that deals with a High Templar at this point. Oh, it's going to be another cancel on the 6th base. Great job from Astrea. Scarlett will find a War Prism, and that will give her a respite. But Astrea, oh, he might just kill this base in the middle of the map. Of course, it has mined out of its gas. Looks like Astrea doesn't want to commit. Storm does get dodged by Scarlett. Good job. There's the Broodlord transition, but the Tempest coming on in. There's no Vipers. It's just the Corruptors. And the Corruptor count is not big enough to deal with this. She actually cancels the Broodlords. Ooh, she's going to try and jump the Tempests. Oh, big Storm's coming on in. Observer does get taken out. One Tempest does fall. Astrea, though, that's a ton of Zealots on the right side. They're going to find this base completely exposed. It will fall 100%. As long as Astrea targets it. It's going to be a lot of dead Zealots, and Scarlett did get a kill on Astrea's 6th base. But I think that's still better for Astrea. Resources lost is favoring the Protoss player just a little bit. Just a little bit. But Scarlett has not been able to secure a 6th base, and now she gets knocked back down to, at the moment, 4 bases. And she's actually not mining that much. Well, she's going to not be mining that much gas in a little bit. She's going to be down to just 5 geysers in a moment. Another Zealot run by coming in on the bottom side. 12 Zealots. They're going to kill off this base. Oh, Astrea is doing such a good job with the multi-prong harass. Well, I guess this isn't multi-prong. This is just harass. Still, doing a great job with it. Astrea adding on 3 more Stargates. I really like that. Even though he's been unable to secure or hold this 6th base. At this point, I mean, maybe just take this base, yeah? Clear out a little bit of creep on the right side. Scarlett does have a lot of creep, actually, on this right side. Ooh, High Templar Storms are huge. Astrea sees this with the Observer. He was ready for that. He was very ready for that. Yeah, Tempests are okay, but I really prefer Carriers for the stability. And speaking of creep clear, Astrea going to do a great job clearing out all the creep that Scarlett's been working on the left side. +2 air weapons on the way. The other thing that's really nice about this for Astrea is that he's going to have +3 shields really quick. Oops, Scarlett pushing through the middle of the map, but the stasis wards are big once again. Astrea able to drive this back without much issue. Does lose a little bit of static defense, but it's not too much. Oh, nice abduct on the High Templar. Feedback comes in on the Viper, but obviously the High Templar dies, and that's still better for Scarlett. Viper can just be healed up and recharge energy. +3 weapons and +3 shields will complete. Astrea does have a beefy army at this moment. Oh, he's going to kill off this base in the middle. That Tectonic Destabilizers does help. Oh, is he? Yeah, he's going to get it, right? Zerglings on the other side of the map. They're going to get swarmed, stomped by the Archons. Yeah, Astrea will finish it off. 5 Ultras coming in from Scarlett. Not what I would have expected to see, necessarily. She still hasn't taken this base on the left side. Meanwhile, Stasis Wards right here. Next to the Reptile Crate, the Solid Snake Box. That's one of my favorite little additions in the game. That's so cute. I always love that. Obviously, this base doesn't have any gas, but there's still quite a few minerals here, so it would have been worthwhile. Well, it will be worthwhile to rebuild it if this game goes super long. Oh, Scarlett. Hey, that's the first time I've ever seen a Storm actually kill a Protoss's own unit. Never seen that before in my life. Again, this base is going to get denied, but of course, Scarlett, she finally has secured a different base, a 6th base. Oh, she does need to resaturate this gas, or at least, actually not even resaturate. She's never saturated it before. Huge storms on the Lings and Hydras. The Ultra's kind of caught in the back. Scarlett, though, will be able to get forward a little bit. She'll find a good number of Archons. That was expensive, though. And now the Ultras are kind of revealed. Yeah, that was an even trade, I think. Well, no, it says Astrea killed more. But I think that doesn't take into account the static defenses. Yeah, it's still... It's a little bit better for Astrea, but not much. Ooh, Void Rays being added in. Should see the Flux Veins upgrade for sure. And Astrea definitely wants to start +3 air. Scarlett, she is on a double Spire setup now. Ooh, uh-oh. How many Hydras just went down? 5 Hydras and an Ultra. Astrea is building a pretty big bank. Scarlett is still in a position where she could potentially just lose the game. Like, rather quickly. Astrea, by the way, has taken this bottom base. And Scarlett, she's tried to take this topside one, but it does not feel like she can really defend it. Astrea is going to back away for the moment. Ooh, gotta be careful, but okay, there's the High Templar to cover. More units on the bottom side. Just a small little compliment. A couple of Stalkers, an Archon, an Immortal, and 2 fully juiced High Templar. They're actually going to deny... There's 1,000 gas here. Scarlett really needs that base. She really needs that gas. Abduct being used on a Stalker at the Watchtower. That is something... That is kind of funny at this point. Scarlett did get to keep this base on the top side. That's nice. Oh, Hydralisks are going to go down kind of for free. And the Ultras, they're not going to have the best time either. There we go. Couple of Abducts coming on in. Storm gets a little bit of a punish on the Corruptors. Both players controlling quite well right now. Not letting either player get a super one-sided engagement. But this Watchtower is a huge deal. Whoever holds this Watchtower is going to have a much easier time engaging around this position. And for now, it is Astrea. Can take some really cost-efficient trades when you know everything about your opponent's army alignment, army arrangement, and they know nothing about yours. Oh, that's funny. The Broodlings from the hatchery trigger both stasis wards, but the big story there is that the hatchery does fall. More Stalkers getting into the main base. Wow. They are... Astrea is doing a great job of just being a really pesky opponent here. Scarlett really... Oh my god, the Fist of Neeb! But Scarlett says, no, you're not getting this up and running. Oh, those High Templar. And here's the problem with Tempests instead of Carriers. I mean, Carriers don't kill Ultralisks particularly fast either, but there's nothing that actually kills the Ultralisks fast right now, and they just cleave through everything. All the High Templar go down. Astrea's losing so much. Everything is going to die in this army. The Space Cows end up being the space nightmare for Astrea, and Scarlett crushes forward. I think she needs to back away now. But look at this. The robotic facilities are going to go down. Scarlett just crushed him in the middle of the map. There is going to be a force back. Ooh, fungal growth will come on in on these Stalkers that were just warped in. Scarlett wants... She's got to disengage. But that went so well for her. That went so ridiculously well. So many air units going down. Oh, man, I really wish that it was Carriers instead of Tempests. Tempests, they're just made of glass. And Astrea actually spends a decent amount of his money. Ooh, nice fungal growth right there from Scarlett. Spends a decent amount of his money warping in Zealots, and they're pinned against the wall. Even with battery overcharge, multiple Ultras and Adrenal Glands Lings with +3 are going to chew through them very quickly. Nexus will eventually go down, but the Stalkers are going to be enough to push this back. Oh, Scarlett, can she re-engage? The Fungal Growth Ultras are going to be really good, but there's 3 Immortals in the back here. There is a counterattack on the other side of the map. I don't know about this. Scarlett really committing deep. She's going to lose all the Ultras, maybe except for one. and a fresh one that was made a little later. An Infestor going down as well. Void Rays sniping a base. It was Void Rays on the top side, and a cheeky recall. This game has gotten so chaotic from a point of very much kind of stalemate to now extreme chaos. Astrea did lose this base. Both players losing a lot of eco in the last 45 seconds to a minute. Resources lost has evened out completely. Neural Parasite finishing on up. But the Immortal count is now decent, so the Ultras are not going to be the be-all, end-all that they were. However, now Neural Parasite can turn the Immortals against the Protoss. Astrea's got to be careful leaving those Immortals too far forward. They could get knurled, and that could be a disaster. But how many had Infestors? Oh, there's only 3. And only 2 of them have Neural. Scarlett? Oh my god, Astrea, you're not actually thinking about taking this base. You cheeky, cheeky lad. Astrea has never thought about taking this base. So many probes just sitting there. They can't have been doing that for long, right? Astrea does have a quicker rebuild on the bank. He's been mining a lot more. Oh, Fungal Growth will find a good number of these Stalkers. That's a great little pickoff for Scarlett. Let's take a look at the income. That is a gigantic advantage for the Protoss. But Scarlett flooded him with that big Ultra attack. Ooh, the Void Rays. Well, Scarlett's going to be able to get out after getting a pretty good trade. At this point, she's killed enough static defense to maybe just run some Lings in there. Meanwhile, Zealots on the top side will find this fresh base from Scarlett. And Astrea is going to hold his eco lead. Scarlett, though, now she's actually officially trading better. This game is wild here and is deserving of the decider match between these two. We're going to see the static defenses trying to keep these units alive, bottling the crap out of the Ultras. But the Ultras don't care. They are the kings of this match. And they're going to get in. They're going to deny the Nexus. Immortals, there's not really enough of them here. There is an attack set up on the bottom side, but Scarlett, she's got the Infestors, the Corruptors, the Queens ready here. And Astrea sees it all. He's like, I can't attack up that ramp. Scarlett, she probably could have clicked the Nexus and gotten out, but she didn't. She went for the deeper fight, and it did cost her a little bit. But actually, no, it didn't cost her. It just cost her. It was opportunity cost, not actual cost. Oh, there's no detection here. Neural Parasites. Oh, she grabs the Immortal. Grabs the Adept. She steals an Adept of all things. That is hilarious. But this is going to allow her to take down the Nexus. She'll kill the Immortal as well. Astrea does have this base on the bottom side that is supposed to be Scarlett's. We've passed the 100,000 resources lost mark in this game. This game is bonkers. Absolutely nutty. Scarlett does have 2-2 for her air. Astrea on 3-1-3, getting up to now +2 air armor, +2 ground armor as well. Scarlett, no missile upgrades, no +2 carapace either. Well, no +2 missile. She does start up the +3 flyer carapace. Does have the money for +3 air weapons as well, and probably should get that. If Astrea can start taking these bases away from Scarlett, though, this is too much. Also, this base was never rebuilt. It was never able to be rebuilt. So there's just, what, 900 gas almost? 850 gas that Scarlett just can't get at this moment. Scarlett cannot push in on this base. Astrea might win through pure economic means. He is a man of means. At the same time, though, the income at the moment is even. And Astrea's got a very small mineral bank. Scarlett, she might actually be able to take this base away from Astrea. Whose base is it anyway? Where the map layout doesn't matter and the points are made up. The points are made up and the map layout doesn't matter. Whose base is it anyway? Starring Drew Carey, Colin Mockery, Ryan Stiles, Wayne Brady, and now Aisha Taylor, I think. I don't know. Astrea's getting towards the full Monty of upgrades. Scarlett, not really close. I don't think she's ever going to get ground carapace or missile upgrades. Ooh, neuroparasites. Neuroparasites on High Templar, feedbacking his own units right there. That's an amazing engagement for Scarlett. She's going to trap the units outside of her opponent's wall, turning the Immortals and Archons on Astrea's own army. We do see the Ultras killing the base in the middle of the map. Very nicely done from Scarlett, but she's got to disengage. That went so well for her. Astrea just lost a lot of units. And now the resources loss difference jumps to 6,000 nearly. 5,400 resources. 56? 54. Astrea did get into a nice position at the very end, and Scarlett stayed a little bit too long, but those neuroparasites were so cash money. Also, Scarlett preparing to give up her main base. She says, it's fine. Oh my God, wait. Scarlett can't. What? No. Why? Why? She canceled +3 campus. It was so far along. Why? It was like done, right? I don't. Okay, big push coming in on the bottom side. Ooh, nice double abduct from Scarlett. Does grab a Void Ray and an Oracle. She's kind of cooking in this late game. She's got control of the Watchtower. Astrea does not want to push down this ramp. Not into this vision. Scarlett's starting to long distance mine this base as well. Astrea, he has been comfortably mining this base. This could come down to the final resource. Oh, the latest of late game Dark Shrines coming in from Astrea past the 30-minute mark. This game is wild. I'm so confused. Why did Scarlett cancel +3 Flyer Carapace? She is she's been spreading creeps so tenaciously. Oh, no, don't do this. This is a trap. There is a really big concave setup from Astrea. He gets an Infestor right there. Good job. Oh, no. Astrea, careful. No, the High Templar. Where are they going? Oh, they're just going for a stroll. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Panic? No panic. Finally, the +3 flyer attack starts. And the Broodlord, the Greater Spire getting rebuilt here. Scarlett. She gonna take this base? She hasn't felt comfy enough to. We're about to be 3-3 air for the Protoss. And 3-3-3 air for the Protoss, 3-3-3 ground for the Protoss as well. Oh, Void Rays find an Ultra. Scarlett does... She only has 8 Broods. This is not a traditional Zerg army. But it's also not a traditional Protoss army at the same time. It's a lot of Immortals against a lot of Ultras. Well, actually, at this point, only 4 Ultras. Both players, limited gas. And once again, that is why these gas geysers are the natural for Scarlett being underutilized is such a big deal. How much gas do they still have? All 3 of these are going to get taken down. It could very well come down to this base and just this base deciding the game. And look at this. Yeah, neither one of them. It's a no man's land. Scarlett, though, has been long distance mining it for a little bit, and she's been taking a fair number of resources. But the fact that the gases are closer to Astrea could be the better option. 12 probes getting sacked by Astrea. He wants more army. And I mean, his bank is huge. Oh, look at this. He's building static defenses on the edge of creep right now. Drone's starting to get picked off. Scarlett, ooh, can she get an abduct? No, feedback comes in, and both Vipers go down. Very good job right there from Astrea. Scarlett losing a lot. Neural Parasite. Oh, no. It's going to get feedback. Okay, she pulls back, recognizes the revelation. Good revelation. Scarlett losing actually a lot of drones kind of for free. Broodlords are super exposed on the top side. Tempest able to shoot down the Spore Crawler here. Funnily enough, Astrea actually blocking the gas like really badly with these shield batteries. So actually maybe not the best play, but I appreciate the concept. I appreciate the idea. It's just one of those things where sometimes your brain moves a little bit too fast, but in the wrong direction. Astrea, by the way, does have a lot of army down at the bottom side. 4 High Templar, 4 Archons, 2 Immortals. What is that? That is a lot of army supply. 8, 24, 32 army supply down here. And Astrea says, hey, you're right, Steadfast. Do I really want that army supply down here when Scarlett clearly has pretty much everything on the top side? Scarlett at a huge... Oh, look at that storm on the drones. Scarlett, she's got to stop mining with these drones. Like, she will need to replenish them sooner rather than later, I think. She has finally finished up her 3-3 air. Ooh, Tempest going to be able to pick away at the Broodlords. Great revelations coming in from Astrea. This game could still go quite a bit longer. Oh, here comes a big break attempt from Scarlett. She's going to zone him out of the base. And at this point, just take the base kill, I think, and back away. Oh, Astrea is going to move forward to engage. Nice fungal growth from Scarlett. Astrea didn't like the way that army was coming at him. And I like that he backed away, because it was a big concave from Scarlett. And you don't want to lose the game on a bad fight. Scarlett does have a very low gas bank at this point. And now, actually, she lost a lot right there. Yeah, what's the battle report say? It says she killed more, but in terms of gas, she lost more, which is the big deal right now. And static defense is being rebuilt by Astrea. A lot of cannons here. Scarlett, these drones are kind of comedic at this point. Probes killing off Assimilator. We're going to see Astrea will finally gut the main base of Scarlett. Ooh, Scarlett, though, is going to move forward. She will be able to find this base once more. The Broodlords raining from afar. Ooh, the Tempest. Got to be careful about going into the dead zone. There's no high tempo to cover them against feed or against abducts. This is actually the perfect setup for Scarlett in terms of positioning. The Broodlords draw the Tempest out. The high Templar can't cover them. This is not often that we see this base get besieged in this manner. Usually it's already been mined out at this point. Tempest, though, do pick away the Broodlords. And Scarlett is really running low on gas at this point. She needs to find a way to take this base. Astrea can rebuild his army almost in totality at this point. Oh, Scarlett's going to go for it. Storm's coming in, but not landing on the bottom side of the Corruptors. Void Ray's not popping the Prismatic Align. Oh my god, he recalled. Why did he recall? That was meant to be a... Prismatic Alignment or Battery Overcharge, but he takes the Void Rays out of the fight for so long. And Scarlett, meanwhile, the Broodlords kill so much on the right side. A dramatically disastrous fight for Astrea, and Scarlett with a huge win right there. Still, is it too much? Her gas bank is gone. She's rebuilding just Ultras, and there's still so many Immortals on the field. Broodlords are going to move forward. Scarlett can take this base now. She has actually wrestled it out of Astrea's hands. But on the bottom side, this army is actually a big problem. Well, it's not a big problem yet, but it will become a problem. Astrea, he just lost so much right there. Oh, Ultras. No, not Ultras. This is the most anti-Ultra army there can be, and it obliterates the Space Cows. We are going to see the Stargates, a lot of them getting taken down here. They were not in the best position. Well, I mean, actually, this is a totally fine position. It's just that Scarlett got so deep into Astrea's base at this point. How many productions? We've only got 2 Stargates, 1 robotics facility. Robotics facility in the middle is gone. Recall's actually on cooldown, so this army is actually trapped. If Scarlett can kill the army off, I think she just wins. There's no production. Astrea's not building anything. He's got 11 Zealots warping in. There's more units coming in. This is the weirdest, funkiest base trade. Recall is still on cooldown for another maybe 45 seconds. Scarlett is closing in on this position. The trap, the jaws are closing in from Scarlett's Broodlord Ultra Ling Corruptor Viper army. Astrea He doesn't want to lose so many Immortals. The Storm's coming on in, but the wraparound from the Ultras. The Broodlords get them into the fight. The Immortals are actually chonking right through the Ultras. Scarlett, no, she didn't need to go that quickly. Why did she go without the Broods? And now the recall comes through, and she taps out. Just like that, it's all over. Astrea sitting on a 10k resource bank, didn't spend it for several minutes. But Scarlett overcommits into the corner, loses everything on the ground, and she taps out with no money in the bank. And Astrea takes one of the wildest games you will ever see. What a game, what a series. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the series, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll catch you on the flip side. I've been Steadfast.